when we go on speaker mode immediately and we switch on to share screen, video becomes a small window in the
That's
upper part.
fine. That's fine. Nobody needs to see us reading. People need to see the material. That works for me. Oh, now I don't have any sound.
I hear you.
You can continue.
Oh, okay. You had yours muted, Sanjay.
I muted my sound because in between I make cough.
If you cough, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Well, here we are. Homeopathy for Humanities Sunday night learning series, where we study various remedies. Okay, my name's Tina, and we have today we are going to go through Ambra-Gresia. Ambergris. We had a nice picture of ambergris that unfortunately did not become a slide share, but it is a substance that looks kind of like a rock, but it floats. And there is some confusion as to which end of the whale it is
I
expelled
will
by.
try to bring up the picture.
Yeah, it's just right there in the group. I posted on Friday, I think.
Let me check. By the time you can talk.
Yeah, so it's an interesting product. It is from sperm whales. You know, back a couple of 100 years ago, whaling was a huge industry, and people used to get fuel from the sperm whale. So sperm whales were hunted extensively. If any of you have read the book Moby Dick, that talks about the whaling industry in New England. And as a side note, New England was a bastion of homeopathy during the existentialist movement centering in Concord. Okay, so Ambra-Gresia is sometimes washed up on shores, but the finest quality can be found during taking apart the whale. Now, that is no longer done, at least in most countries, because very few countries are harvesting sperm whales, which are on the endangered list. I think Japan gets a special quota, and the Inuits gets a special quota. Very few people are actually harvesting whales at this time and place, because we have other fuels than whale oil for heating and lighting. Right, guys? Okay, so
There is
Hanuman,
picture.
you got the picture? It's right there in the group.
Okay. Is that website?
No, not the website. That's an article.
Okay, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
It comes in slightly various colors.
This?
Yes. Yeah. So that's a picture of a sample of ambergris. It's used in the perfume industry, and it is extraordinarily expensive. They think sometimes what happens is when a whale, by accident, it's a baleen whale. No, it's not a baleen whale. It's a sperm whale. So sometimes things that are like, they think maybe squid beaks and other various things are
What is
vomited
sperm
up.
whale?
Hmm?
Sperm whale?
Which one is it?
Yeah.
It's the one with the square head. It
The
used to be
name?
hunted. It used to be
Name?
hunted for
Okay.
Are you looking for a picture of a sperm whale? I didn't even think to do that.
Yeah, I'm looking.
It's the one with the, it looks more like an orca, but with a square head and a large square mouth.
Sperm whale.
Yeah, sperm. SPERM. There he is. They were hunted nearly to extinction. And now they're on the endangered species list. Yeah, it's a toothed whale. It doesn't have baleen. It has teeth.
Is this?
Yep, that's him.
Okay, this is the sperm whale. And we have this medicine.
They think it might be sperm whale vomit, but it might come from the other end. Nobody really knows because it's hard to monitor the sperm whale and its behavior and its activity. And there aren't any in captivity that I know of. And anyway, it usually seems to be, the theory is that the whale eats something that irritates, and then over time, it creates like a waxy substance over the irritant. And then from time to time, it expels this product. Okay, so Hahnemann says, this substance, often adulterated on account of its high price, we can only hope to get genuine only in first-class drugstores. The true ambergris, developed in the intestines of the sperm whale, as was proved by Schwedjar perhaps, and probably a fatty excretion from its gallbladder, is obtained by best quality from the sea, especially after stormy weather off the coast of Madagascar and Sumatra. It consists of small, rough, opaque masses, which are lighter than water, of spongy consistence, and can easily be broken up into rough, uneven pieces externally of a brownish gray color, internally permeated by yellowish, reddish, and blackish fibers intermingled with whitish, very odorous points, somewhat greasy to the touch, and a faint but very refreshing fragrance. By the warmth of the fingers, it becomes soft as wax. By the heat of boiling water, it melts into oil, and at the same time exhales a strong, very agreeable fragrance. Oh, we lost our, I lost my place. Agreeable fragrance, and on heated metal, burns quite away. On applying a light to it, it quickly takes fire and burns with a bright flame. Alcohol dissolves it very sparingly, but sulfuric ether dissolves it almost completely, and on adding alcohol, a white wax-like substance is thrown down. Its feeble odor is much increased by this solution and also by triturating it with other substances. A grain of such genuine ambergris is triturated for an hour with 100 grains of milk sugar in a porcelain mortar every 10 minutes, divided between 6 minutes of trituration and 4 minutes of scraping. Of this powder, a grain is again triturated with another 100 grains of milk sugar for an equal length of time and in the same manner. And lastly, of this powder so obtained, 1 grain is again triturated with a similar quantity of milk sugar in the same manner and also for an hour. This furnishes a potentized millionth attenuation of ambergris, a small portion of a grain, of which is not only sufficient for a dose for most homeopathic purposes, but is often found to be quite too powerful, in which case its effects may be moderated. Get this word, moderated, by several small doses of camphor, but in many cases, according to the symptoms developed, another important point, by nux vomica, and in rarer cases by pulsatilla. So here he says that it can be moderated. If the effects are too strong, we cannot antidote, but modify it to gentle it. In that case, it might just keep working and continue its work, but without giving extra symptoms to the patient. So according to the need, some doses of camphor, some doses of nux, or sometimes some doses of pulsatilla will modify, not stop, but modify the action if there are symptoms that come along with it. The duration of the action of such a dose in chronic cases is at least 3 weeks. The symptoms indicated by the letters GFF were observed by the state counselor Freiherr von Gersdorf. Note of the symptom, no, none of the symptoms are derived from old school sources. Ambra first appears among Hahnemann's medicines in the 2nd edition. Okay, so there are no old school sources in this remedy. This is only proving data. No old school notations, which is interesting because sometimes Hahnemann likes to give us those old school notations alongside, but noted. Okay, this is a remedy that has a lot of vertigo and a lot of tearing pains. Vertigo, extraordinary dangerous vertigo, vertigo walking in open air, forenoon, afternoon, weak feeling in the stomach, must lie down. Remember when it gives the hours, that's an important feature in the proving data, because the longer after the dose, the better the data is. Here we have a spacey person. He is always as if in a dream. He cannot think of anything properly. He is if but stupid. Bad memory. Thinking power is very feeble. He must read everything 3 or 4 times over. Even then, he cannot understand it. So that's a very interesting thing. When you have somebody, let's say, with some kind of problem where they read things again and again and again, and they still can't understand it, that is a symptom in Ambra-Gresia. Weakness of the head, morning headaches, like emptiness, as if he'd been drinking overnight. Confusion, tension, squeezing from both temples, aching confusion immediately after eating, especially when moving, pressure in the forehead, with anxiety lest he should go mad after 48 hours. Aching pain in the forehead, aching pain in the output and nape. Every other day, down pressing pain in the forehead, on top of the head, with heat in the head, burning in the eyes, pale face from the morning onwards, but worse in the afternoon. Rush of blood to the head for 2 days. Painless feeling of pressure on the top of the head, heaviness, aching pain. Now here we get to the tearing pains. So we have vertigo, aching pains, and tearing pains. What does it mean to have a tearing pain? What does it mean to tear? To tear. Something is tearing inside the head. To tear, a tearing pain. Transient tearing throughout the head, drawing hither and thither, or tearing in the head. On the left side, the occiput towards the nape and behind the ears, tearing. Tearing in the left temple, the top of the head, on the right frontal protuberance, and behind the left ear. Tearing headache in the forehead, extending in the upper part of the face. Very painful tearing on the crown, as if the whole upper half of the brain, with pale face and coldness of the left hand. Twitching in the head is a, what would we say, contentious? It's a maybe, maybe not symptom. That's why it's in the parentheses. But either way, we see that there is painful tearing. There's vertigo. So here's some of the themes we see. External headache, shooting and cutting headache. Feels it at every step. There's other remedies where there's a headache with every step. Right, guys? The hair on the head falls out. The hair hurts. Aching, tearing headache. Pressure on the left eyebrow. Pressure on the eyes. There was also a sensation as if coming down with a cold. It was just a little bit up there, but that was there. The sensation of coming down with a cold, but not coming down with cold. A painful pimple, red papule, close to the hair, no pus, pressure and smarting as if dust had gotten in the eyes, smarting and pain in the eyes, pressure in the eyes, pain as if the eyes have been too tightly shut, especially in the morning. Distended blood vessels in the white of the eye. What does that mean? You can see little blood vessels in the whites of the eye.
Yeah.
Burning, burning pain in the right eye, burning in the eyelids, itching in the eyelids, as if it were to inflame to a sty. So if somebody says that they felt like they have a sty coming on and it was itching and it felt like that, and then that would be a symptom here in Ambra-Gresia. Dim vision as if through a fog. Dark before the eyes, trembling of the facial muscles. In the evening, in bed, spasmodic twitchings of the face. So we have some twitching in here along with our tearing and our vertigo. And there are pimples without sensation. And then gnawing, formicating, itching of the face. Formicating means like a crawling feeling. So there's like a gnawing, biting, crawling, itching in the face. Tearing in the upper part of the face, especially near the right nostril. Okay. Red spot on the cheek without sensation, eruption of pimples, itching of the whiskers, tension in the cheek as from swelling, painful swelling of the cheek and the upper jaw, with throbbing in the gums, tearing in the morning and at other times the right ear, creeping of the ears. Creeping is that formication again, like something's walking in it. Here we go again there with the crepitation and creaking. Remember how last time we talked about crumpling a piece of like aluminum foil? Roaring and whistling in the ear in the afternoon. After 4 days. And it sounds like when a watch is wound up. Now, not very many people have watches that wind up nowadays, but if we're of a certain age, we remember that sound. Dryness of the interior of the nose is in parentheses, so that is a questionable. Dry blood collects in the nose, nosebleed in the morning, hot lips. They've been watching MASH, huh? Spasms in the lower lip and sensation as if it were pressed against the gums and torn away again. Pain in the corners of the mouth. A soreness. shooting, aching pains in the jaw. In the jaw, pain as if they were screwed together or torn apart. Terrible. Okay, we have drawing pain in teeth, aggravated by warmth, relieved by for a moment by cold, not aggravated by chewing. It went away after eating, and at the same time, the gums were swollen on the inside. Pain in the hollow tooth in the evening. Now, this hollow tooth thing is something that people don't encounter in all countries at all times now in the 21st century, because most people go to dentists. But it was not uncommon, and it is still not uncommon in some places where the teeth will decay and become hollow. And there's a lot of talking about hollow teeth. So it's basically like a dead tooth, like a shell. After dinner, pain in the hollow tooth, more shooting than tearing for half an hour. You see, there's a lot of tearing here. Tearing pains. Okay, in bed, digging pain as if under the left lower molars. Drawing toothache at one time.
Can we bring up that boger so
Of
we
course.
can see the action, duration and action of this remedy on which our organs also.
Yes, we can. But would we
Yeah.
like to do that towards the end?
No, we can bring up now and simultaneously we will search symptom in this also.
Okay.
What do we say?
Anybody want to vote on that? There's a lot of different pages. Maybe we should just read through the bold ones.
Huh?
We might also want to just read through the bold ones because there's a lot of symptoms.
Yeah, we can check between those. Just give me. I will bring up that also, that page.
There's some really interesting symptoms in Ambra. For example, he feels the pulse in his body is like the ticking of a watch. Tick, 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 tick.
Is it a Boger synaptic key?
Yep.
Ambra. Okay, I got it.
There are some things that are very commonly considered keynotes that are not mentioned in this proving data.
No, we can just see that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I was just making a statement that some of the keynotes are not in the proving data that people rely on to give this remedy. For example, bashful is not really a. Okay, what do we see here? Sanjay, you want to read region?
The region, nerves, pneumogastric, solar plexus, and spinal nerves. Mind, female organ, one-sided. I don't know what he mean by one-sided or.
Either the right side or the left side, but not both at the same time.
Okay. Then was slight causes, presence of others, and music, embarrassment, agitation, worry, thinking about it. These are mind symptoms, and we don't see any mind symptom in this proving data.
Oh, yes, we do. It's just at the end still.
Okay.
Yep, there's a
Old
bunch of
age,
mind symptoms.
tuning, warmth, milk. Dry, nervous. Can you read? Actually, I'm. It's exciting my cough.
Dry, nervous, meager habit, early senility, weakness of upper part of the body with trembling of lower parts. I have to move my picture again. Worn out, yet over impressionable to slight things, aggravated breathing. Slight things aggravate the breathing, the heart, the beginning of the menstruation, etc. Symptoms suddenly change place. We have a few different remedies that have that changing place. Suddenly, you like impulsatilla and calicarb. There's a sleep, numb feelings and spots, twitchings, itching, tremblings, ebulations, and general pulsations. I don't see tearing. Tearing is mentioned so many times in the proving. There's a nosebleed during the period. Sad. Oh, right. Okay, I lost my place. General pulsation. Dreamy. Flitting ideas or fixed disagreeable fancies. There's a very interesting proving symptom there with the disagreeable fancies. Doesn't understand things easily. Does not understand what she reads. Sad, bashful, senile vertigo, nosebleed during menstruation, coldness in the abdomen, confusion in occiput, also sprained feeling, imaginations, coldness of the body with twitching, asthma, dry, senile, worse with coition. Okay, so you have somebody, yes, this is mentioned in Herring about a man of 83, I think, attempting to have sex, who starts coughing with asthma and is not able to have sex. So that's why this symptom is given here. Flatulence, they have gas. Can't have others present when urinating or during stool, worse during pregnancy. Okay, so that here is here. It talks about a frequent call to go to the bathroom, not being able to, and then becoming irritated by that. And then we have itching private parts in the female, spasmodic cough, then burping, bluish white expectoration, has a lump in the chest, palpitation, sweat on abdomen and thighs, and the related remedies are britacarb and ignatia. And then let's go through some of the bold ones. Drawing toothache, time of the right, another on the left, by day. See, this is the alternating of the sides. Sometimes on the right, sometimes on the left. Okay, bad breath, fetor in the mouth, tongue, mouth, and lips dry in the morning, smarting and soreness in the mouth, vesicles in the mouth. Oh, and here in this one, we have ranula. This is where ranulas are discussed. Okay, scraping in the throat, as having a cold for some days, dryness in the throat, feeling a dryness in the throat as something was sticking in it, pain in the throat, and pain in the salivary glands when eating. That's an interesting one. You could think sometimes that when people have those little calcium buildups and they eat something sour and then they get that pain. Secretion of mucus in the throat with roughness and scraping. So if we have a patient who, even though they study and they read things, they can't retain it, this might be a If there's a few other things that fit together, might be something useful. Frequent sour burping, heartburn, disordered stomach, bitter taste in the mouth. Oh, that's a questionable. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we have some nausea, burning in the stomach, burning in the gastric region. After eating, pressure in the throat, as if food is still stuck there and would not go down. Sometimes people think of other remedies for that instead of Ambra. This is a lesser used remedy, even though it has a lot of really usable symptoms. Aching pain in a small spot on the right side of the abdomen in the hepatic region, but not felt when touched. Aching pain in the hepatic region, tension and distension in the abdomen after everything he eats, even after every mouthful of fluid. So not only food, but water and other liquids are increasing tension and distension in the abdomen. We have a lot of distension in the abdomen, bellyache, displacement of flatus causing pain, especially on the left side of the abdomen. There's a lot of gas. Yep. Then there's fermentation of rum and rumbling. There's a lot of gas in this remedy. Cutting in the abdomen with soft stool in the morning for 2 mornings. Severe cutting in the abdomen with diarrhea stools on 3 days. Cold feeling in the abdomen. Twitching of the abdominal muscles. Shooting over the hips. Okay, here, wait, stop here. This is where they get that bathroom rubric that is so commonly attributed to as a very strong keynote. A frequent call to stool, but no motion occurs. And this makes her very anxious. And then the propinquity of the other people is intolerable to her. Okay, so she feels like she needs to go to the bathroom, but she doesn't.
There is
And this
one
makes her
very
nervous.
striking symptom in this remedy. He cannot pass stools if he notices some noise outside the bathroom, outside the toilets. If somebody is standing or doing anything and he hears that noise, actually there is a symptom that there is inertia. Stool cannot come out. Sprinters, on sprinters, you can see.
Yeah, so here when she has her frequent call to stool, but she doesn't actually go, this makes her nervous. And then having people near her is intolerable. So there's like a combination of needing to go, not being able to go, getting nervous, and then not liking people around.
Yeah.
Now, this did become a slightly different rubric with a slightly different keynote than what was shown here with this woman and her proving. But that is, people talk about this a lot as a, and you know, if this doesn't happen, you could still give Ambra. So you can have somebody who's having trouble learning, who's has tearing pains, a whole host of other things, because remember, we don't need to have everything. We just need to fit together our Legos, our building blocks. Okay, so we have constipation, the stool is scanty. We have itching and pain of the anus, which feels better by rubbing. Itching of the anus. After stool, after going, aching deep in the hypogastrium. And then there's blood with the stool. And for stools that are sluggish, it can be curative in the secondary action. Somebody noted that in the proving. Okay. It feels like he hasn't finished. Pain in the rectum at the same time as in the bladder. That's important. Urine turbid, even when first passed, there's yellowish brown and deposits of brown sediment, while the clear urine above it was yellow. Urine like whey, urine brown. Scroll down. Bloody urine after 7 days. Has to get up a lot at night to go to the bathroom. Much urinating at night. Urinates more than he drinks, especially in the morning. But you see that the much urinating frequently at night is old. Okay, we have burning internally, burning, smarting, tickling of the vulva in the urethra when urinating, ulcerative pain in the glans penis, burning in the female genital organs with discharge of some drops of blood, especially after walking too far and after a hard stool. So that's an interesting symptom there. Constipated woman, there's some blood after going to the bathroom. Severe itching.
This is very important symptom.
This one here, severe itching on the pudendum. More rarely at the anus, she must rub the parts. So the pudendum is like basically the whole region. It comes from the Latin, as in, it's related to the word shade. So the female parts, external female parts, severe itching. And we have itching in the penis. It takes away erections and the secondary action. Okay, then we have the menstrual symptoms. So we have it too early, 3 days too early, and 4 days too early. And a sensation as if the menstruation were about to appear. Discharge of blood from the uterus. Okay, here's another thing here. This blue suspended veins of the left leg is another important symptom. Okay, in the forehead and eyes, sensation as if before the outbreak of coryza. So it feels like it's going to get a cold. Headache on blowing the nose stopped up with sore pain inside of it. Great dryness of the nose, the frequent smarting as if he would sneeze. Hoarseness, thick mucus in the windpipe, which he easily gets rid of by hawking and voluntary coughing. Okay, so we got a hoarseness with a roughness, with a kind of deep sounding voice, with thick mucus, but if he hawks and coughs, it'll come up easily. And we have bad breath in the morning, and tickling in the throat, exciting cough, irritation in the throat, collection of gray mucus, coughed out with difficulty, itching in the throat and thyroid gland, every evening cough, Cough only at night, horrible irritation in the throat. Cough comes sometimes in regular great fits, a kind of whooping cough. Scroll up.
What is this Corvulus cordis?
Where is that, Sanjay?
Is this?
Yeah, where is that part of the body? Want to stand up in your chair and show us?
Mm, Corvulus cordis. Okay. This is upper part of abdomen, just below zippered process. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Zippered process below sternum. This is
Okay.
sternum and below on abdomen
Mhm.
is that area.
Okay, thank you. I think we can continue scrolling a little further.
Because the second time this word has been arise while we reading. One is he is talking about when he has constipation and there is pain in hypogastric region, and he is talking. Can I scroll up for a while?
Mhm.
Uh, Here, 200. Read that 200.
After stool, aching deep in the hypogastrium.
After each tool, weakness about scurvulus cordi.
Okay, but it's enclosed in those brackets, which means that there's a doubt surrounding that symptom.
Here,
And you see there's twitchings again. We have more twitchings there in the urethra.
yeah.
And we have another tearing sensation during cough. Ooh, whistling in the chest, oppression on the chest. A violent obtuse stitch in the right side of the chest, catching the breath. Palpitation of the heart, anxiety at the heart, hindering respiration with flying heat. Heart palpitations when walking in the open air with a pale face, along with violent palpitation of the heart, pressing in the chest as a lump lay there, or if the chest were stuffed there.
Aching. We see aching all over.
Punches of
Superior
aching.
of chest, under the left side of the chest. and cardiac region. And again, the word we see in 295.
Yep,
In the chest,
rubiculus
above
cordis.
aching, bluish pain relieved by erection.
Yep, so in the chest, above this area, the scroculus cordis, and aching
What we
bruised pain
see,
relieved by burping.
this region, this point below xiphoid process, below the sternum, we see there is, you can say, discomfort, weakness, or aching. Everything we see, it is relieved by erection. Here we see, and even whenever he has passed stool, after stool, there is weakness. There is, I think that sensation is, we need to study a lot about this region. This remedy is very nice, which act in this area.
And remember, there's a lot of gas in this remedy as well,
Yeah.
and a lot of built up sensations in the abdomen where both food and water irritate the built up feeling, the pressure. Then we have the tearing pain again, tearing pressure in the left side of the chest. And then we have violet pressure in the sacrum, painful tension of the lumbar muscles, shooting in the left scapula, rheumatic pain in the right scapula, tearing in both shoulders, tearing in the left shoulder joint. In the evening, drawing as if dislocated and paralyzed in the shoulder. So there's tearings, twitchings, achings. Clucking is a interesting symptom.
We see tearing in the left shoulder here, and 220 we see in right elbow, a diagonal symptom. Tearing in and on right elbow, tearing in right elbow and forearm, and aching drawing pain in the right forearm up into elbow.
Falling asleep with the hands at night. Cramp in the hands. Weakness of the fingers. Icy coldness of the hands. Pricking in the hands and fingers. Trembling, tearing again, tearing. There's a lot of tearing pain. Tearing pain, it's ripping. Skin of the fingers wrinkled.
Again
Tearing. Tearing in the lower left limb in the morning. Heaviness of the lower limbs. The lower limbs feel gone to sleep. Cannot step firmly because they're kind of numb. They've gone to sleep. Right leg is very cold. Cold feet, very cold feet. In the evening, lying down, itching on the legs above the ankles. After rubbing it, pains as if sore and bruised. So rubbing aggravates the itching. And this is in the evening, lying down above the ankles. Tingling, itching, gouty pains, tearing again. Cramp in the lower limbs every night. And cramp in the calves. Okay, cramp in the lower limbs and cramp in the calves almost every night. Stiffness, stitching, itching of the feet, tearing of the toes, pain in the heel when walking, itching of the interior of the soles, not allayed by scratching, itching that doesn't get better with scratching. Causes the tetters to reappear, an itch eruption on the skin. Tetters is kind of like a kind of related like herpes in the old jargon. And the pulse of the body, like speaking of a watch. Gone to sleep sensation, coldness and insensibility and numbness. A gone to sleep condition of the skin, but without formication. Uncommon twitching in all the limbs and coldness of the body at night. Uneasiness in the limbs, like a formication, with a kind of anxiety only by day. In the morning in a heated room, so weak, very exhausted in the mornings in bed. In the morning, great weakness of the lower limbs, weariness of pain in the limbs, exhaustion that gets better by walking. That's interesting. Heavy tiredness of the body, weakness of the feet with numbness. I like that. Exhaustion gets better with walking after 5 days. Must lie down on account of weak feeling in the stomach with vertigo. Inclination to stretch. Sleepiness by day. He cannot sleep at night, but does not know why. Okay, here we're getting to some of these fantastic dreams. For several nights sleepiness, in the morning slumber full of fantastical dreams. So we're going to come to some interesting visions. Okay, uneasiness, wakes with a headache, gets up, goes off. The headache goes away when rising. Waking with exhaustion, dryness of mouth, great pressure in the epigastrium, diminished by lying on the abdomen, whereupon he has tearing in the sacrum instead, which gets better when he again lies on the back. That's interesting. He took good notes. On awaking about midnight, there's weakness, nausea, great pressure in the scorbiculus cordis and abdomen, violent erections.
We see.
Mhm, that's right. Yep, so on awaking about midnight, there's weakness, nausea, great pressure.
Sorry. What happened?
Violent erections, not just a normal erection, but a violent erection without voluptuous sensation. It's like an erection without any feeling, like there's no cause for the erection. Dryness in the mouth and insensibility of the surface of the body. Very early waking, frequently interrupted, profound sleep with eyes fast closed. And here we go again with the scorbiculus cordis.
Yeah.
In the morning after waking in bed, great weariness, especially in the upper part of the body, confusion of the head and sensation as if the eyes were fast closed. Besides some nausea in the scorbiculus cordis, He has hardly any resolution to get up. He doesn't want to get up. Yep, and then we have vivid sleep, uneasy dreams, which prevented sleep. Child sleeps restlessly, talks in its sleep, and wants to drink. Starting up in a fright in the evening on going to sleep with illusions as if there was too much light in the room. He sprang out of bed in anxiety. After falling asleep late, anxious dreams, as if he were ill-used. That means people being bad to him. An account of weakness, could not defend himself from the people being bad to him. Then he awakes with great weakness in the upper part of the body, with squeezing pressure under the scorbiculus cordis, and nausea, sensations that recur when he lies down again and falls asleep, to then added pressure on the left side of the abdomen. But on waking and sitting up and moving, the symptoms go away with discharge of gas, fermentation in the abdomen, and burping. Then we have vexatious, anxious dreams, talking in their sleep. Dreams of business, all night restless sleep on account of coldness of the body. Internal chilliness, weariness, coldness of the whole body except for the face, neck, and genitals. Nocturnal perspiration. Here we're getting into some kind of fever symptoms. Okay, then we get disposition, restless and excited. Hurriedness and intellectual occupations. Excitable, irritable humor, as if weak in nerves and impatient. Okay. Excited. She spoke unusually much, loquaciousness, was very much exhausted thereby, and could not sleep at night, got a headache, as if a great weight lay on her head. She felt much oppressed, must sit up in bed, had anxiety, expired all over the body. Unusual long excitement. Music sends blood to the head. Distorted fancies, grimaces, satanic faces take possession of the mind, and he cannot get rid of them. So this is where that's mentioned, that the scary things, scary visions, distorted fancies, grimaces, satanic faces take possession of the mind, and he cannot get rid of them, is where there's the scary visions. I think that when you have somebody that has scary visions, we need to look at Ambra. Very specific in this remedy. Anxious in the evening. Dejection. Sad. Sad thoughts take possession of him with sinking feeling about the heart. He is a long time depressed in spirits. Very sad. Despair. Tearful, then peevish and quarrelsome for 2 hours. His humor is easily embittered. Constant alternation of dejection and passionate disposition, which will not allow him to get a tranquil disposition. Indifferent to joy and sorrow, but more dejected than calm. And then we see at the end, a very composed disposition, which is a cured symptom. And there we go. And
There
interesting.
is one symptom in Ambra-Gresia, disgust feeling. A disgust feeling when at sight of food also.
And where does that symptom come from? Is
I
it a
don't
clinical
know.
symptom?
I don't know, but I have seen in other Materia medicals.
Yeah, a lot of Materia Medicas have a lot more symptoms than this one does. Like, there's a symptom when one person in the family after another dies, and then the person becomes depressed, is another one that's commonly read in Materia Medica about Ambra.
Yeah,
And then there's the bashfulness. We don't see the bashfulness in this proving. We don't see the inability to go to the bathroom with people nearby. We see the opposite. We see that the person just doesn't want people nearby because she's irritated that she can't go to the bathroom. It's kind of like an opposite. But if we bring up just a regular Materia Medica, like let's say a Boricki, do we have a Boricki down here? I think my Boricki might be upstairs in my bookshelf.
yeah. Share the screen.
Yeah, you got it there. You can handle that.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that are in the proving data that somehow the proving data got enriched dramatically into Materia Medica. Because you would think that this would be a remedy that is well known for tearing pains.
Look at this. Boriki.
Yeah,
Okay. What more we can say about?
so we're pretty much here just to read through the Materia Medica Pura and see what the actual initial proving symptoms were. Because this is the book least studied.
Tikva, how does all that compare? I didn't even look at herring. We see that in Boger, the tearing symptoms don't even come up.
Mhm.
Also, I vaguely remember a symptom, a mind symptom or some symptom of feeling dirty. Like lacaninum has that symptom. It's similar but not the same as lacaninum. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that this remedy has that symptom, that feeling dirty or disgust, nauseating
Discussed,
feeling.
yeah.
It has this symptom.
But it's not in the proving.
Not in this proving, no.
Wait a minute, I just want to pull up herring,
Yeah, pull up herring.
guiding symptoms.
Pretty much what's in Materia Medica Pura is repeated in herring, and then he adds a little bit to it. I know even Boninghausen's done by, oh, I can't think of which repertory it is. It mentions the bashfulness, but the bashfulness does not come through with the with the proving. But yeah, let's look at the herring.
Mhm. Should I just look at the red only or the blue and the red symptoms?
So you could look at the blue and the red because those would be the most characteristic. I mean, when working, one should go through everything, in my opinion.
Hearing guiding symptoms.
Yeah, we often need to revert to Herring's guiding symptoms because it has the newer medicines that are used. Not the newest medicines that are used, but newer medicines. That we rely upon frequently. Things from the New World symptoms. Back in Hahnemann's day, those would be really rare, hard commodities. But as soon as people started populating America, they started taking, like I said in the very beginning, you know, you had people like Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson and Louisa May Alcott and her father's farm, Fruitlands, and they're kind of like socialists, existentialists, abolitionists, and they were strong proponents of homeopathy. And they started, you know, talking with the Native Americans and about their healing techniques, and then people started doing provings on the things from the Western Hemisphere. They got added to our Materia Medica, and rightly so. Because we're supposed to continue adding to our Materia Medica, but not with dream provings, not with meditative provings, not with group triturations, but with actual provings. So we get a really clear idea of what the product is capable of curing in a sick person. So what do you see there, Francine?
I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Sanjay, can you pop it up for us on your screen?
No, I mean, I see it, but I don't see that symptom that we were just
Disgust?
talking about. Yeah, this whole
Yeah.
inyan of disgust.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. I guess if we go to chronic,
can
okay,
you
I know
check-
how we could find out. I know how we could find out. If we go to the rubric disgust, incomplete dynamics, see if Amber's in
Oh,
it,
right.
and then right click it and see where the origin of that is
Okay,
from.
so
Okay.
I'm on a phone. I'm not on a computer right now.
Okay, Sanjay, can you pull that up?
Yeah,
Okay, go to disgust and open disgust.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, yes. Open it. Okay, do we have,
Yeah, it's right there.
okay, it's a grade 1. Bethucus.
Comes from jar.
Yeah, Yar has it. And Thompson and Bethucus. So it's just a grade 1 observation kind of thing. So I don't think that we could take that as being a huge thing in Ambra. What do you think, Francine?
I mean, it would just, it's interesting that it's something that I remembered going back so many years on this remedy. So it means that it's being, it was at one time taught.
Yeah, it's taught
I'm
as
sure
being
it
an
still
important.
is.
Yeah, I'm sure it still is.
And
But
it's
it's
where
just
the
a grade
focus
1.
is. right?
Mhm.
But it's how they want to teach. They can teach the remedy in a more exciting way also to make it like
It's
really.
it's so much more exciting than this kind of pain.
Did you ever listen to on YouTube? Did you ever watch George Vitulkas teacher Remedy?
I
He's
see them do it in
so-
purpose and, you know, in person. So yeah.
He's so dramatic. He so talks about the things that are more, I guess, attractive to like, you know, to get the people's attention, but it's probably the least important things most of the time.
Yeah, I agree. And we call that sexy homeopathy.
Exactly, that's the word. Yeah, sexy homeopathy.
Uh-huh. As opposed to tearing pain. Hands go numb at night.
Boring.
Yeah. But you know, the fact that in this remedy that there seems to be a rather strong symptom of reading things again and again and again and still not getting it is important.
It's nosod.
What, Sanjay? I didn't hear you.
Ambra-Gresia is nosod.
It's considered a nosode?
Yeah.
I thought it
Why?
was this, yeah, why?
It's, I don't know, but it's categorized under nosod.
In the introduction of the Materia Medica Pura?
No. In other Materia Medica. Let me check.
Because it's just an animal product, just like sepia would be.
Right.
Mhm. So it can't be a nosode because it's not a disease tissue product. It's not a bacteria. It's not a virus. It's just this naturally occurring substance that comes from the sperm whale. Just like how sepia comes from the cuttlefish. So I wonder who classified it as a nosode, or maybe we don't wonder. Devera, did you read the National Geographic article?
Yes, that you sent?
Mhm.
Yes. Mhm.
We got some really efficient people here in the group. They look at the pictures, they read the articles, and you know about the product, right? Thank you so much, guys. You make my life
Thank
worth
you.
living.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, it's very nice when I post something that there's actually some people who pay attention.
Actually, it was very interesting. I think this made this remedy come a little more alive for me.
Yeah,
more
in my
than-
opinion, this totally makes a remedy come alive for me. That or reading herring or such things.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm signing off.
Thank you so much for attending, Francine.